How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. So the markets were interesting today. We had the S&P and the Dow break even. The NASDAQ 100 went up 0.3%. The Russell went down 0.6%. So we have to talk about it. Break down some charts, talk about some stocks. I also want to go over my mindset right now as we're approaching all-time highs. So sit back, relax, take a sip of your coffee, go down below, get your 2 stocks from Webull. Literally, all you have to do is use my link, deposit $100, and we each get 2 stocks valued up to $1,600. And you guys could check out my Patreon if you want to keep up with all my real-time moves in the stock market, and both of those are linked right down below. And with that being said, let's get the party started, guys. And like I said, we're approaching all-time highs. In fact, the S&P hit another all-time high today. As you guys can see, SPY hit $428.56. That was earlier in the day. If I pull up the intraday chart, you can see we ran up at market open, consolidated a bit at until about 10:15 a.m. on the East Coast, and then we saw that nice leg up at about 10:30 a.m., hitting those all-time highs, and then we sold off for the rest of the day, and we ended up closing up 0.05%, pretty much a break-even day. But I consider this a W for the bulls because obviously, again, we hit all-time highs and we ended up breaking out of this resistance and the ascending triangle that we called out this morning on Patreon. And you guys can clearly see that on the 5-day, 5-minute chart. Take a look at this. We were making higher lows yesterday into pre-market today, but we were struggling at about 427.65 yesterday after hours at close as well, and this morning pre-market. So when we squeezed out of there, the ascending triangle played out. We hit those all-time highs, and we closed above 427.65, which is a very, very good sign for the bulls as well. So despite the fact, even though we didn't do that well in terms of the closing price, we still had a pretty good day. The bulls did. I consider this a win for the bulls. And when it comes down to QQQ, let's pull that up. This also hit a brand new all-time high. So we also took out the resistance from the pattern here that we were talking about this morning in the morning video on Patreon. And you guys can see I was talking about the descending triangle that was forming. It ended up not panning out clearly because we broke out of the resistance here and we went all the way up for the entire day. I mean, tech had another pretty solid day today, and we hit $355.45 pre-market. That's pretty much where we are right now. So that is the all-time high on QQQ, which tracks the NASDAQ 100. So at this point, quite honestly, I'm being a bit more conservative, and it makes sense why. I mean, we're at all-time highs, guys, and I've been locking in profits on a lot of my positions, well, mainly 2 of my positions, ChargePoint and Tesla. I completely liquidated my swing trades in those companies, and don't worry, guys, I still own Tesla in my long term, but in my swing account, again, I liquidated that completely. I'm pretty much raising cash, and at this point in time, I'm at about 45-ish% cash, maybe closer to 50%. So I'm preparing myself not for a apocalypse or a crazy crash or 1929 type of market crash, even though that could happen. No one knows what's going to happen. But I'm preparing myself for a pullback, a healthy pullback in the markets. I mean, I'd love to see QQQ down to 340. I'd like to see about a 4 or 5% haircut here. And if that were to happen, when that happens, you know, a lot of these stocks, they're going to go down more than 5%. Typically, the more volatile ones will go down more than 5%. And me having a nice cash position, I'll be able to hop in and buy the dips, right? And at this point, you can't lie to yourself, guys. Markets will pull back. The question is when. I mean, we've seen it many times, time and time again, and I've been calling these pullbacks. I mean, every time we get overextended, I mean, look at this. Back in the end of January, we went from 313 to 340 on QQQ. We pulled back a good chunk, about 10-12%. And I'm not expecting as heavy of a pullback as that, but bear with me. We did this again in March into April. We ran up from 316 to 340, dropped back to 316, a nice little 8% drop. So I'm thinking we're going to see a similar drop, whether it's tomorrow, next week, 2 months from now, I don't know, but I'm going to be ready and I'm going to jump in and start nibbling positions here as we sell off. And SPY on the flip side, look, this one's not as overbought as QQQ, but if it pops up more, let's say 430, 435, I would want to see a pullback. Even if it doesn't pop up, I'd still want to see a pullback. Down to 410, 405, 415. These would be healthier levels in my humble opinion. And I'd love to know your thoughts. I mean, are you guys buying stocks right now, or are you more on the sidelines? Because everyone that I've been talking to, for the most part, swing traders for the most part, sure, day traders, they don't really care about this stuff. I mean, they're in and out quick, boom, boom. And sure, I day trade too, but I'm mostly a swing trader. The swing traders out there, they're being a bit more cautious right now, and rightfully so, for the reasons that we just mentioned. So drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. As always, make sure you guys smash the like button as well on this video if you all are enjoying the video thus far, and if you guys have been finding value, which I'm sure you have been. And let's get into some stocks now. And I'm into a lot of these stocks, and I'm not in them necessarily, but one of them I am. We'll talk a couple of these. So let's just get into it, guys. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Number one is CRM, Salesforce. And a lot of these, believe it or not, I mean, Salesforce, even though the markets are at all-time highs, Salesforce is down 15%, 14% from the all-time high here. So it's almost, it was in a bear market. Now it's climbing its way out of the bear market. It's still in correction territory. Remember, guys, anything of a drop between 10-20%, that's correction territory. Anything above 20%, that is bear market territory. So the past couple of weeks here, and this is the yearly chart, by the way, so this gives us a broad perspective, right? Past couple of weeks, CRM has broken out of the moving averages. It has broken out of the downward channel, right? And now we're slowly going from a death cross. The death cross occurred in the beginning of March. Now we're slowly going to a golden cross, the 50 crossing above the 180 SMA, which could signal more upside here in the stock. So I am very interested in CRM, and I want to show you all another pattern here that I'm seeing. I'm seeing an ascending triangle. This is more in the past month or so. If I pull up this 20-day chart, you'll be able to see it. We have clear resistance at 245, right? That's where we've been struggling for the latter half of June here, but we've been making higher lows into 245. So in my humble opinion, this is gearing up for a breakout. Whether it happens tomorrow, next week, a month from now, nobody knows. But for me, my chart reading, doing this stuff for years at this point, I'm spotting this and I'm seeing a potential breakout. Does it mean it's going to happen? Of course not. But by the looks of it, everything's lining up. Let's put it that way. Everything's lining up from the yearly chart, what we just discussed. Now we're looking at the 20-day chart. All we need to see, in my opinion, is a clear-cut break above $248 per share into the 250s, and then from there, guys, this is off to the races. First level would be 250. Okay, that's a resistance point, so we have to break that as well, to be honest. That was resistance back in the middle of February, but from there, I'm thinking 265, 270, 275. These are levels that Salesforce could slowly start getting to, and the all-time high is 285. So when are they reporting earnings? That's a good question right now. I think they reported very recently. Yeah, they did back in the end. So about a month ago, end of May, they reported. So they're going to report in about a month and a half from now. Let's see if it's on ThinkOrSwim here when they will report in August, it seems like, end of August. So yeah, I think maybe the earning, and I have to do more research on this, but maybe with earnings coming up It depends on guidance, EPS, revenue, and so forth. But with earnings coming up, maybe we rally into earnings. So overall, for CRM, watch out for 248 to break, and quite frankly, 250 to break as well. That's another key spot. And full disclosure, guys, I don't own CRM right now, but I'm waiting patiently to pull the trigger. COIN, on the flip side, is one that I do own. This is Coinbase, and this is one of my longer-term positions right now. And admittedly, off the top of my head, guys, I have no idea what my average cost is on this. I should have probably checked it out before making this video, but I do know I'm down, and I'm down probably, I'm not, let's just put it this way, I'm down a decent chunk on Coinbase. And this is one that I was buying a couple months ago after the IPO, not in the 400s, thank God, guys. Maybe I nibbled a little bit in the low 300s, higher 200s, but overall I'm down, I'd probably say about 15%. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And this is one of my plays as a crypto play. I mean, you obviously know I own Bitcoin. Full disclosure, I bought Bitcoin in May, not 2021, but in 2020. I was buying Bitcoin at 8.5, 9,000. And you guys can go back and check the videos. I mean, I have receipts of that, so I'm not just BSing you guys. But I was buying Bitcoin there, and I took some profits on Bitcoin. Where was it? At about 55, so I got pretty lucky. I actually liquidated some profits there, and I've been just letting the rest ride. And at this point, I want to have a stock that is a crypto play. Mara and Riot, those are two others as well that for me, I don't want to invest in those necessarily. I would trade those, but I wouldn't invest in them, me personally. Coinbase, I like the business. I use the app. I think it's the first mover advantage, and quite honestly, I think it's a lot better than Voyager. I mean, you guys might hate on me for that, but I applied for Voyager, and I'm not even kidding, I have yet to be approved, and that was over a month ago. So for me, and they had a lot of outages from what I was reading and from just hearing in the community, for me, they are for sure up and coming. They have potential. There's no doubt about it, but they got to figure it out more. They got to dial it down a bit more, and Coinbase has done that already. Sure, they have their problems like every, crypto platform exchange. I mean, did they not just ban Binance from the UK or something like that recently? Or maybe that was fake news. I don't even know anymore, guys. Half the crap you see on the internet these days is a bunch of BS, but there's problems with all of these, and in my opinion, Coinbase is the one with the least problems, at least for my experience, guys. And I've played with all of these. I tried doing Voyager, didn't get approved. Coinbase I've used for years, ever since 2017. Haven't had problems with it really at all. Binance I've used. What are some other ones? I don't even know. Kraken or whatever. So for me, Coinbase, I like it, and why not buy the stock? Why not buy the stock? And as of late, this has been doing well because of Bitcoin and crypto. Last time I checked, and I'm talking the last 24, 48 hours, guys. I mean, yesterday, I think Coinbase was up 10%. Today, it went up 3%. So almost a 15% move in 2 days here. And the past couple of days, Bitcoin's gone up from 30. Last time I checked, it was 35K. So it's been moving up aggressively. Who knows? Maybe now it's up even more. Let me check GBTC. That would be a good indicator. Yeah, GBTC went up 6% today. So this tracks Bitcoin in a sense. So it's the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So overall, guys, I'm looking at Coinbase to maybe add more to my position. Potentially, I'm not exactly sure. And by the way, full disclosure, I'm not in this with a crazy amount of my portfolio since I'm already in Bitcoin itself. I much rather own, when it comes down to crypto, guys, I'd rather own the crypto itself than a stock, but owning both is good too. I think owning both is good, which is why I own Coinbase as well. But I have more Bitcoin than Coinbase stock, if that makes any sense. But I would add more Coinbase stock in the future, depending on the trend. And we're noticing this is kind of still in a downtrend. I mean, we're slowly breaking out, but I'd like to see it get back into the high 200s. 275, maybe 280, 290, into the 300s. I mean, that'd be a great sign of direction back to the upside. But overall, I like Coinbase. We touched on Mara and Riot. And again, these are ones that I'm looking to trade. So Mara now filled the gap back to 32.50 today, and it went up 6% today. And that was actually resistance in the middle of June. You guys can clearly see it. So in my opinion, if Mara breaks 32.50, I'm going to put an alert right there. This could end up seeing potential back up to the mid to high 30s. I'm thinking the next spot we go to is about $39, $40 per share, which was the high point from the end of April. So watch out for that on Mara. And Riot, we're seeing a peak above 36.50. Now we're trading at 37.70, which is a good sign that we're taking out the resistance from the middle of June. I'm thinking the next spot is $44, $45 per share. And that is about what? 15% higher from where we are now, and that was resistance from the end of April. So I think Riot, Mara have good opportunity or good potential here in the short term, and Coinbase for that matter, and Tattooed Chef, which I own. Full disclosure, I own Tattooed Chef. You guys know this. And I was talking to somebody on Discord a couple days ago, which, by the way, the Discord chat is linked down below. We have an awesome community, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. When it comes to free Discord communities, I would put mine up there at the top. And I don't want to be like, oh, it's my Discord community. I run it, yeah, but it takes more than one person to have a Discord community, guys, not just me in there. It's a whole bunch of people. And these people, I'm telling you, they're awesome. You know, I could list off 20, 30 people in there that are very active. These people are great. And I'm telling you, when it comes to free communities, which, again, it's linked down below, this chat is probably one of the best out there. Usually, a lot of these free communities, they're crap. You know, it's a lot of bots, spam, BS. And quite frankly, I could charge for the community that we have down below. But I started it for free about 2 years ago. Now we have 3,700 people in there or something like that, which is crazy. And yeah, I mean, you guys got to get in there. It's a free resource, and I'm not taking any money for that, which again, I believe I could charge at least $5 a month or something, but I don't care about the money, guys, at the end of the day, because it's free. It's free. Go get it. Go get it, guys. Linked right down below. And yeah, so Tattooed Chef, I was talking to somebody about this, and we talked about how if this 180 SMA were to break, as support, that is, if we failed holding 20, this could fill the gap down to about 1860, 1875. Now we're seeing today, with it going up 4%, it breaking the 50 SMA, that obviously didn't happen. So in my opinion, now bulls are getting back in charge. Bulls are buying the dip. We have some spike. Oh, that was actually yesterday or 2 days ago, trading days ago. We got the spike in volume. But overall, now I'm thinking we're going to fill the gap towards $23, $24 per share, which was that high point. Well, we struggled there all throughout the end of May into early June, mid-June. So by the looks of it, TTCF is moving up in the short term. I think this is a good opportunity for the short-term trader out there. Although I'm not a financial advisor, guys, you must always do your own research. And the next stock is AAPL, which we also called out. And I actually nibbled more Apple the other trading day. I bought some at about 133.60, if I remember correctly. And this is one of those stocks that, you know, call me crazy, but I'm averaging in over time. You know, I've been buying this stock for years. I just buy pretty much every month, 2 months. You know, I like averaging in. It's a dollar cost average stock for me, kind of the same way I treat VOO, for example, which is an S&P 500 ETF. I like scaling into this over time. I also like scaling into DGRO, which I bought more of today. This is a dividend growth ETF. So these Apple, I treat it like these ETFs. I scale in over time. And of course, I mean, obviously, I buy more when it dips harder, right? So let's say, for example, Apple were to tank 30% tomorrow, I would go way heavier than I did with my recent 133.60 buy. But Again, either way, I'm buying in over time. That is how I treat these stocks. And we called out the break above this wedge. That happened. Now we're filling the gap up to about $138, $139, which was the high from the end of April. I believe if that were to break, we might be testing 145 all-time highs on Apple. So we got to watch for that break. I'm actually going to put an alert at $138 per share. Let's put it there for now. See what ends up happening. And I'm also looking at Qualcomm. Qualcomm went up 2% today. It broke out of the descending triangle resistance. We're trading above the moving averages. We're seeing a golden cross here, the 50 crossing above the 180 SMA. And admittedly, this is a little overbought, so be mindful of that. But any sign of a pullback, in my opinion, whether it's 140, 135, 138, 139, any sign of a pullback, this could open up a pretty solid opportunity as we're overall breaking out. And in my opinion, we have targets. I have targets at 145. 147. These are a couple of different levels here. $150 per share. So I'm going to be watching Qualcomm and a lot of the chip stocks for that matter, guys. You know, MU, they report tomorrow. AMD, which I'm also long in, crushed it today, up almost 3%. In full disclosure, I own this at about $76.70. So these are stocks I like. And my favorite one, I'm not even going to front, is AMD, which is why I own this, and I don't own Qualcomm, Micron, or Intel for that matter, although Intel's a pretty nice value in my opinion. Nvidia's way too overbought. You know, I kind of want to wait until after the split. Maybe I'll make a video on Nvidia tomorrow, the next day, I don't know, covering the split, my plans with it, and we'll talk about other splits from other stocks, what happened there. Let me know if you guys want that. Drop a comment. And the last stock for today is Home Depot. I mean, this one was the talk of the town during the pandemic. I mean, during the pits of the pandemic when it was crazy out there, guys. And we had a lot of people doing home projects, fixing the hardwood floor that was that was rotting for years. They didn't get around to it. Or fixing the bathroom door, the stove, the sink or whatever. A lot of people got around to doing that. And HD and Lowe's, for that matter, both of these stocks crushed it. And at this point, on the 4-hour chart, I'm noticing Home Depot is breaking the 180 SMA. And I'm also seeing a pretty solid looking inverse head and shoulder here. If I highlight it, you guys will be able to see it. Excuse me, guys. We have the left shoulder there, the head right here, and the right shoulder. If I can stop choking on my words, guys, the right shoulder's forming, and now we're breaking out of the 180 SMA. I'm thinking this fills the gap anywhere from 320, 325, 330, which was resistance from the middle of April and in the middle of May a little bit. So watch out for Home Depot. I'll put an alert probably at about $320 per share. And that's it. We'll wrap it up there for today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, drop a comment if you want to. Let me know what you're up to. And don't forget to check out my Patreon. If you guys want to get all my moves, real-time, call-outs, whether it's options, trades I'm making, long-term investment buys, that's all on Patreon. And if you guys sign up for the top tier, you get a morning update video literally every single trading day. And I go over breaking news, breakout stocks, my plans, and so forth every morning. That is linked down below, or you guys can go to stocksurfest.com/Patreon. And don't forget to also get 2 stocks from Webull. They're literally free. All you have to do is deposit $100. But Stas, you said they were free. Listen, deposit that $100, you get 2 stocks valued up to $1,600, and then if you don't like Webull, you take the $100 out. Boom, you have 2 free stocks. I also get 2 free stocks, and you could also check out M1 Finance, which is one of my long-term brokerages. I have a whole series here on the YouTube channel of a portfolio I started 2 years ago. Check out the playlist where I use M1 Finance, and if you want to join that, check the link down below, deposit $100, and you get $30 to invest with. So that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'll catch you all later on. Keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there, guys. See you tomorrow or in the morning. Well, that is tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see you guys. Have a good one. Peace out.